Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of my bonsai benches. This time I'm going to show you my bonsai that are less advanced, meaning that there's more work, meaning that you can follow all the work that is coming. It's lovely weather here in Belgium for spring this year, so I hope you enjoy the tour. Pinus sylvestris, the discovery I made. I just bought this recently, and it was at Danny Uze for a very reasonable price. I think it's because of this unsightly little piece of wood, but the awesome part is that you can uncover all of this, and this, if you uncover it, it will be like a fin of deadwood. So for me this is like an amazing treasure. I saw this and I was immediately in love with the tree. Although it looks like nothing right now, it already has back buds. It has been taken care of, so it's got to be healthy. So this one has an ancient wound and some more deadwood pieces. I really believe that when I'm finished with this one, this is going to be an awesome tree. Pinus sylvestris. I hope you recognize this plant from a video I did a few weeks ago. This is the California Juniper that I transformed from just material from the ground into this little beauty. So watch the video. I think it's gonna appear here somewhere. And I have been getting some comments about the gin, that I should bend it, so watch the next video on this plant because I'm going to bend this with steam. It's a special process, so I hope you check this out. This beast, or as I call it, the Rhinoceros, is actually the second one that I got from my neighbors. This was a tree that stood straight up with this entire root base buried underneath the soil. I laid it down, uncovered this, made the deadwood, and then actually I made this entire tree from a branchlet that was this big. So it's about 4 years in the making, so a lot of work still to come, but I'm pretty stoked with how this deadwood worked out and everything. So yeah. This small Ulmus minor is actually a discovery I made. It was just a regular garden plant, and it already had the characteristics of a beautiful bonsai. Although it's not a species that is extremely widely used, I think that the branch structure is so fine that I'm in love with it. This is going to be one heck of a tree, so follow the evolution. Japanese black pine. We all know this species, the iconic bonsai pine species. Well, this was actually a discovery I made. I was walking around in an old bonsai nursery where the owner was getting old and a little ill, and he couldn't take care of his trees, and I discovered this. This tree was yellow, near brink of extinction. It was really in bad shape. I took it home, put it into the soil. A year later I potted this, and it's been in my possession for like 3 years now, and I got it back to health. So I'm going to start working on this pine this spring. So I'm really happy that I can do this. Look at how green and lush the needles are now. But most importantly, look at the bark. This has been in the pot for at least 20 years. I mean, you cannot get this fissured bark or this old bark just by having a tree in the soil or in the ground. I mean, this is one heck of a find. So yeah, I'm really happy with this tree. Let's go to the next one. Alright, another Pinus sylvestris. This one is bought at Trophy 2024. It is repotted this year and it was styled last year, so also 2024. Big shout out to Jacek. I don't know his last name. Rot something. So Jacek, you have the awesomest bonsai shop. So please just comment below with the title of your bonsai shop so that people can find your shop. Big shout out, always when I go to Trophy, I always buy something from Yasik, so shout out to you, man. Hibiscus bonsai, this is an absolute beauty. It's not commonly used as a bonsai because the wounds won't heal, but I am going to try to cleverly disguise the wounds and make sure that my branching is so fine that it won't make a difference. I love the color. This actually it needs to be brushed a little bit, but when you brush this is like silver white bark that really pops, especially when the flowers hit. They flower in July, August, so it's a summer bloomer, which actually brings a lot of color to your garden. I love this species. Trident maple forest. I really love forests. I mean, every time you look at forests, it's like you're walking around in them. So I have a couple of them. This is my Acer Bergerianum or Trident maple forest, made with a dozen of small seedlings. This is a different way of working because you really have to keep them really small. So follow this one because you're gonna learn a lot. So I hope you know this little tree because I styled it yesterday. This is the video. It was a very large transformation. This plant was yay big and I cut it back really hard. I hope that you all understand that this takes time to regrow. I also left a couple of branches in here that are actually too much. I mean, this is going to be reduced in the future. This is a tree that I had to style for a friend of mine. So Danik, shout out to you. Small pomegranate forest. I love my forests, as I already mentioned. This is actually very special because I made this one from seed. And trust me, that's a lot of work. You have to open up a pomegranate, wash all the seeds one by one. There's like a million seeds in there. Then I put it on a paper towel, put it in the freezer, and then I germinated the seeds, and a couple of years later, I think 2 or 3, this is the result. I am going to reduce this forest even more. There were a lot more trees, but I reduced them slightly in order to create interest and more movement in the composition. I believe I'm going to use this as the forest, and I'm going to reposition these, but that's something I need to think about in the future. For now, I'm just going to take care of them, work on the ramification, and yeah, it's a special way to do forest by reduction. So yet again, another technique. This is my Clogenumai from the Sakura video, this one right here, and as you can see, it's done blooming. This emphasizes what I was mentioning about how it all comes to an end. Beauty is beauty, but it goes away. And now it's time for the next phase. It's going to grow its leaves, and now we will be able to appreciate that. Dawn redwood or Meta sequoia. This is just an awesome tree because every tree owned by mankind right now is actually a clone. This tree is a living fossil. It was discovered so we thought that it was dead. It was extinct. And we discovered this in a mountain range in China, and since then it has been propagated from those same trees. So this is actually a clone, which is just scientifically really exciting for me. Yeah. I started this one from a tree that was this big, and I planted this into the ground for 3 years, only 3 years. These are the fastest growing species on the planet. I'm going to style this in a normal fashion, not going to pull everything down, although I'm not sure. I have to live with the tree, of course, but this is what I'm going to do with it. I love this little scientific curiosity, my fossil tree. Cerdiphyllum japonicum, or also Katsura in Japan. This has an unbelievably awesome smell when the leaves fall off in fall, but also when they burn. So it's a double whammy. You lose a few leaves, but you get the smell. It is very difficult to turn into a bonsai because the internodes are very long, and that's why you need to hire them creatively. I think I did a good job right now, but I am going to try to improve it later by growing smaller branches with smaller internodes. But I believe this is going to take more time than with a regular bonsai. But I love this tree because of the smell and the heart-shaped leaves. Also very awesome. The leaves are shaped of a heart, are the shape of a heart. So cool tree. And yet again, a completely different way of doing bonsai. This one is field grown in my field. Well, small piece of garden, of course. The movement that I put into this is actually all done by myself. I did this a few years ago when it was into the ground, when I put it into the ground, and now I did the second movement. I cannot emphasize enough that this is completely different. If you want to learn more about this, how I do this in the ground, how I create bonsai from scratch, really grown, self-grown, then comment in the section below, and stay tuned for how this is going to evolve. This is going to be totally different. So, last tree on this bench. This is a procumbens juniper that I gave to my mother-in-law. Unfortunately, she cannot take care of it anymore. You might be wondering why this has a brownish color. Don't worry, it's not ill or something. This is just winter color. The first time I saw it, I scared myself to death because I thought my tree was dying. But this is actually just a normal habit that they have. They turn this brown purplish color, but in spring, in a couple of weeks, this will be lush green again. I will be styling this tree this spring, getting it back to shape. So if you want to see that, subscribe to my channel and follow all the trees you just saw. So see you next time.